So maybe we could proceed now with the anti-illegal gambling operations naman. So as you have heard, okay, as you have heard, as you can see here, we have here the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation, or PAGCOR. So they are in charge. Okay, it says here a state-owned enterprise which both operates a number of individual casinos and in turn acts as a regulator to privately owned casinos operators. Sila yung nagbabantay naman, in charge doon sa mga operation ng legal gamblings or legal gambling dens or casinos, okay, dito sa Pilipinas. So gambling kasi yan ay libangan din ng mga mayayaman, and sometimes it brings wealth talaga sa isang state. Okay, malaki ang tax. Okay, kaya pinapahintulutan natin yan so long as it is or it does not affect the public safety or peace and order sa isang lugar. Okay, but maybe if it affects the public safety or the peace and order in a certain place, then maybe that could be a reason, or that could be tantamount to the stoppage of those gambling operations. Okay, so meron kasing legal gambling, and then anti-illegal. Merong legal na sugal, merong illegal din na sugal. Okay, so with that, we have here the law that was the law here in the Philippines that we have that states the provisions on anti-illegal gambling. Okay, so we have here the RA 9287, but take note, this anti-illegal gambling law starts from PD 1602. So that was the time of President Marcos. Okay, so meron tayo ngayon yung RA 9287. So anong ginawa ng RA 9287 na ito? It just increases penalties, okay, set in PD 1602. Okay, and then establishes, meron na tayong anti-illegal gambling board. So katulad ng RA 9165, merong na-create na DDB or Dangerous Drug Board. So katulad din dito sa batas na to, it created an anti-illegal gambling board to make sure or to take a look that or to make sure the implementation of RA 9287. Okay? And then take note that the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation also was, it was started in or created in 2016. So they are the ones, ano yung function nila? Granting. Okay, they are the ones who grant operating license and overseen the regulation of growing online gambling sector serving offshore markets. Okay, so that is these operating licenses that could that could say that you are operating legally. So without a license, that is illegal. Okay? And then we have here anti-illegal logging operations naman. So specifically stated under Executive Order number 23 series of 2011. So what law enforcement agencies are involved in here? So meron tayo yung DENR. Okay? So dito rin sa batas na ito. Okay, or the executive order na ito, we have here under section 3, the creation of the Anti-Illegal Logging Task Force. Okay, so ano yung mandate nila? So they are the ones to take the lead in the anti-illegal logging campaign and ensure the implementation of the executive order under the supervision of DNR. So take note, DNR, and then nandito yung Anti-Illegal Logging Task Force. Okay, and ano yung gagawin pa din nila? They are going to assist the DNR in the enforcement of other environmental laws. Okay, and then still on section 3, the composition of the Anti-Illegal Logging Task Force. So, sino yung uupo as chairman? So, the chairman will be the DENR secretary, or if not, his duly authorized representative. So, sino yung current DENR secretary natin? So, Secretary Simato. Okay? So, he was appointed by President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Okay? So, retired military officer. Okay, and now he is the secretary of the DNR. And then we have here the members, who are the members of the Anti-Illegal Logging Task Force. So we have here the secretary, okay, the SILG or Secretary of the Interior, or the Department of Interior and Local Government. Another member is the Secretary of the Department of National Defense, or SDND. And then we have here the Chief of Philippine National Police. So, hindi nawawala yung PNP. Okay, kasi wide ang scope ng function ng PNP. Kasi kapag yan, illegal logging, it is a violation of a law. Okay, and it is the disruption of the peace and order of a certain place. Okay, kaya sakop pa rin ng objective ng PNP. Okay, and not only the Chief of the PNP, but pati na rin yung Chief of Staff ng Armed Forces of the Philippines. And if not, kung hindi man sila, then at least their respective authorized representatives na i-assign nila. Okay, so those are the members of the Anti-Illegal Logging Task Force. And don't forget also the chairman, the DNR secretary. Okay, and then still it says here under section 3, the functions of the Anti-Illegal Logging Task Force. So first one here, they may call upon the support of any department, na mention kanina. Okay, members, and then the Bureau and Office of Executive Branch to assist in the discharge of its functions. Okay, especially if it is especially related to illegal logging. Okay, and then it says here not limited only. Okay, discharge its functions such as but not limited to the provision of administrative or technical assistance. Okay, logistical support and detail of support. So, pwede rin pala sa operations. Okay, and the DNR shall provide the secretariat for the task force. Okay, so DNR will appoint secretariat for the task force. Okay. So, with that, how about the budget of the Anti-Illegal Logging Task Force? So it says here, the Department of Budget and Management shall provide the DNR an initial budget for the task force in the amount of 10 million pesos. Okay, so which shall be sourced from the available funds of the government. Okay, release of additional amounts shall be subject to the approval of the President. So I think hindi lang 10 million pesos yung amount na binigay siguro dito. Okay, baka dinagdagan pa yan. Okay, so pwedeng dagdagan yan upon approval of the President. And now we have here the next, still under the law enforcement operations. Another one here is anti-illegal fishing operations. So it says here under the provisions stated under RA 8550, it says here specifically section 124. So who are the persons and deputies authorized to enforce this code, okay, or the law on anti-illegal fishing? So we have here the law enforcement officers of the department. Okay, department, it pertains to the Bureau of Fisheries. Okay, and then we have here the Philippine Navy. They have part also in the implementation of this code. The Philippine Coast Guard, Philippine National Police, especially the Philippine Maritime Group, or the PNP Maritime Command, and law enforcement officers of the LGUs, okay, and other government enforcement agencies. And it says here, other competent government officials and employees. So, yung mga punong barangays and officers and members of Fisher Fork associations who have undergone training on law enforcement may be designated in writing by the department as a deputy fish wardens in the enforcement of this code. Okay? So, pwede rin yung mga members ng community or barangay. Okay? So, they will be approved or they will be appointed by the department or by the Bureau of Fisheries. Okay? So, with that, they are assigned. Ano yung tawag nila? Deputy Fish Wardens. Okay, and then another one. Okay, in section 125. So, for strengthening, says here, for strengthening the prosecution and conviction of violators of fishery law, says here the DOJ, or the Department of Justice, shall embark on a program to strengthen the prosecution and conviction aspects of fishery law enforcement. So it says here, through augmentation of the current complementation of state prosecutors and through continuous training and reorientation of fishery laws and rules and regulations. So it is a training. It is emphasizing that the prosecutors And of course, the practitioners of law or maybe in courts, their knowledge, okay, or to attend trainings, or the DOJ should provide trainings for these prosecutors about fishery laws. Okay, kasi kapag hindi mo alam, wala kang alam sa batas, wala kang alam about sa batas na yan, then how are you going to help or to enforce or to strengthen the prosecution and conviction aspects of those violators of this law or of this code? So, paano yun? Okay, so it is the one that is being emphasized here. A continuous training for those prosecutors about fishery laws. Okay, and then we have here anti-carnapping operations, still under the law enforcement operations. So, specifically, these are the provisions under 10883. Okay, anti-carnapping law. And it says here, under Section 5, original registration of motor vehicles. So, it says here, any person seeking the original registration of motor vehicle, so yan, it's either newly assembled or rebuilt or acquired from a registered owner. So at least within 1 week from acquisition, okay? Within 1 week after the completion of the assembly or rebuilding job or the acquisition thereof from the registered owner, you are going to apply to the PNP for clearance of the motor vehicle. Kasi ang clearance for the motor vehicle that is needed by the LTO. Okay, if you're going to register it to the LTO, hinahanap kayo ng PNP clearance. Okay, motor vehicle clearance. So, yan yung unang-unang gagawin in acquiring original registration for your motor vehicle. And then another one on Section 12, clearance and permit required. By the way, doon sa unit ng PNP kung saan mo pupuntahan is especially the PNP HPG office. Okay? So, they are in charge also of the giving of clearances for motor vehicle clearances. So, to continue, we have here, it says under Section 12, clearance and permit required for assembly or rebuilding of motor vehicles. So, hindi basta-basta na kapag gusto mong mag-assemble or mag-rebuild ng motor vehicle ay gagawin mo. So, actually sa batas, meron ka dapat gawin or sundin. Pero, in reality, meron yung mga iba talaga, hindi naman nila sinusunod to. Pero yan is violation. Okay, violation ng provision ng 10.8, itong RA 10.883. Okay? So, ano yung gawin mo dito? Any person who shall undertake to assemble or rebuild. So, anong sabi? Shall first secure a certificate of clearance from the PNP ulit. Okay? Especially or specifically at the PNP HPG or Highway Patrol Group. Okay? And then you are going to have here include the type, the make, serial numbers of the engine, chassis, and body. You are going to include that on your application, okay, or in securing certificate of clearance. Okay, and then ito naman, kapag you are ita-transport mo or i-ship mo ang motor vehicle, especially here in the Philippines, meron tayong mga it is composed of islands. Okay, so kinakailangan ding i-observe to. So, transportation of motor vehicles from one island to another island or from one place to another place. Says your clearance required for shipment of motor vehicles. So, it says one of the agencies that are involved here is the Philippine Ports Authority or the PPA. It says here, shall submit. Okay, those persons acquiring clearance for shipment shall submit a report to the PNP within 7 days upon boarding all motor vehicles. It is not the person who are acquiring clearance, but it should be done by the PNP. The PPA, Philippine Ports Authority. So, anong gagawin nila? They should submit a report to the PNP within 7 days upon boarding all motor vehicles being boarded the RORO. Kaya dun sa kapag i-RORO nyo yung sa mga naka-experience na mag-RORO ng kanilang mga motor vehicle, hinahanap yung ORCR, okay, ng copy ng ORCR, okay? So, that is for their documentation and then yan ay i-report kasi nila within 7 days sa PNP din, okay? Okay, so that is for this part. And another one, shall not allow the loading of motor vehicles in or inter-island and international shipping vessels without motor vehicle clearance from the PNP. So, as to the protocol, you should acquire motor vehicle clearance from the PNP if you are going to plan to ship a motor vehicle. Okay? Not only motor vehicle, included na rin pala dito. Okay? Motor vehicle engines, engine blocks, and chassis or body. Okay? So, next one we have here, merong exceptions with those instances or yung mga nasabi natin kanina. So, exemptions are this one. So, except cargo trucks and other trucks carrying goods. Okay? Aside from that, LTFRB, accredited public utility vehicles and other motor vehicles carrying foodstuff and dry goods, especially yung mga madaling mabulok. Okay? So, those are exempted from those requirement. Okay? Na kailangan ng clearance, PNP clearance muna bago mo may transport yung sasakyan. Okay? But with that, under Section 15 naman, on identity transfer, the LTO. So, the LTO is the one that is in charge here. I mean, the main office that you're going to go in processing identity transfer shall cancel the registration of total wrecked vehicle as reported by the PNP or as declared by the Insurance Commission. Or ito yung mga sasakyan na wala na involved in accidents and then hindi na pwedeng maayos talaga. Okay, so that could not be registered again. So, aside from that, meron din tayo dito under Section 15, it talks about a reward. Okay. I think it's in Section 16, not Section 15. That should be error. Kindly try to check it also on your learning module. So, it talks about the reward. So, it says here, any person who voluntarily gives information leading to the recovery of carnap vehicles and for the apprehension of the persons charged with carnapping shall be given a monetary reward. So, it's good. Kung meron kayong mga carnap na vehicle dyan, pwede nyong i-report and then pwede kayong mabigyan ng rewards. So, paano yan? The PNP shall include in their annual budget the amount necessary to carry out the purposes of this section. Okay? So, any information given by the informers shall be treated as confidential. So, don't worry naman, that will be treated as confidential matter. Okay? And then next, we have here the anti-kidnapping operations naman, still under law enforcement operations. So, anti-kidnapping group is the one in charge here, the PNP anti-kidnapping group. So, it is the unit in charge on kidnapping cases or kidnapping operations. So, merong procedure on how they are going to conduct those anti-kidnapping operations. So, we have here concept of operation. So, it says here, upon receipt of kidnapping incident report, so it says the police officer shall make the incident recording. Okay? And then after that, they are going to deploy first responders and alert all concerned authorities or task groups. Okay? Within the local territorial units. Especially, meron din dyan, pwede nyo i-coordinate with the CIDG. Okay? Or yung police, local police natin, they coordinate it maybe with the CIDG or if not, kinakailangan ng tulong talaga ng anti-kidnapping group, then pwede din. Okay? AKG. So, meron kasi yung kidnapping case na hindi na kinakailangan ng AKG. Or meron din yung kidnapping cases na kailangan talaga. Yan ay dapat na i-report sa PNP AKG. Okay? So, tignan natin kung ano yun as we go on in these slides. So, it says here, upon initial assessment of the type of kidnapping and upon confirmation that the kidnapping incident is true, anong gagawin? The case shall be referred to the AKG, other territorial units, or to higher authority. Next, it says here, this is the condition. These are the conditions. So it says here, if the kidnapping was perpetrated by threat groups or terrorists, so kanino dapat ito i-refer? So it should be referred to higher authorities for the activation of joint task force ng AFP and PNP. Okay, and then nandyan din the Critical Incident Management Committee of the PNP. Yes, the national government, the CIMC of the national government. And then meron din tayo yung PNP CIMTG or the Critical Incident Management Task Group of the PNP. Okay, and then pwede rin dyan i-report sa local chief executive or sa mayor, okay, governor, and then other concerned agencies as possible. Okay, pero pinakauna dyan, okay, especially kapag yan ay terrorist group talaga, that is necessary for the activation of the AFP and PNP Joint Task Force. Okay, and paano naman kapag yung kidnapping is only perpetrated by other individuals? So it shall be referred to the concerned PNP territorial units for appropriate operational response. So ito lang dun sa local police. Okay, kapag yan ay simpleng individual lang, isang individual lang yan, okay, or certain group of individual, then that could be carried out by the PNP territorial units or PNP local police offices. Again, we have here the flow chart. So it says here, this is taken dun sa operational manual ng PNP. So if you want to take a look more about it, then you can just look on PNP Operational Manual 2013 version kasi yun yung as of now pinaka-latest naman na pin-provide nila sa atin. So let us try to have it basing sa nasabi natin kanina. So first, that is receive. Okay? Receiving of the kidnapping incident record. So you are going to ang gagawin mo dyan, you are going to record. Okay? You are going to deploy first responders, and then anong gagawin nila? They will conduct initial assessment, and then that is the time you are going to alert all concerned citizens. Okay? And then nandito, case referral by the PNP territorial unit. So titignan dyan, based on the types of the kidnapping case. So meron yung kanina, mention natin types, if the type of the kidnapping operation, kidnapping is committed by terrorist, then meron din by a certain individual or this other individual. And then meron pa, hindi natin nabanggit kanina, ito, kidnapping by OCG or organized crime groups or criminal groups, especially with ransom. So they should be, ito yung dapat may report sa AKG, okay? Anti-Kidnapping Group. So sila yung take charge yan. Pero kapag committed by other individuals, they are only referred to the concerned PNP territorial units or the local police station. Okay, pero kapag yun ay committed by terrorist groups, that should be referred to higher authorities, especially dun sa AFP and PNP. Okay, or higher authorities of the PNP or AFP for proper action. Okay, and then next one here, nung gagawin ng mga agencies na yun pag na-refer na. Okay, so thus the incident needs to referral to higher authorities. So if yes, ipupunta na yan sa dito. Pupunta sa Joint Task Force ng PNP and AFP. Pero kung hindi naman, then AKG will continue the operation, their own operation. Okay, and then after that, they are going to conduct post-action assessment. Okay, and then ito naman, continuation lang nung kanina. So ito yung committed by terrorist group. Okay, committed by terrorist group. So anong gagawin naman ng PNP Joint Task Force dyan? Sabi dito, is the incident of grave national importance with implications to national security, including those serious diplomatic, political, and peace and order, and other ramifications. So pag sinabi dyan, no, then operational, the GTF or the Joint Task Force, CMATG or CMC, will continue on their own operational response. Pero kapag yan ay yes, then activation of the CMC or the Crisis Management Committee. Okay, and then appropriate operational responses. Okay, was the incident resolved peacefully? Then that if it is yes, then they will be conducting post-action assessment. If no, then another tactical option shall be made, solve or another plan to solve that issue. Okay, and then kapag yan naman ay committed by other individuals, kanina sinabi natin that is only referred to the concerned territorial unit or the local police station. So if it is, they are going to conduct, okay, their own appropriate operational responses. Okay, but we don't have here in the flowchart a case wherein pwedeng itaas. Pero as of here, as stated here, hindi naman kinakailangan. So, kayang-kaya yan ng local police station. Okay? So, with that, that is all about the PNP anti-kidnapping operations. Let's say anti-kidnapping operations under law enforcement operations. And we have here the PNP Anti-Cyber Crime Group naman. Okay? And then under law enforcement operation, anti-cyber crime operations. So specifically, PNP talaga ang nangunguna dito sa detection ng mga to. enforcement or in prevention of these cases of these crimes. So nandyan, the PNP Anti-Cyber Crime Group or the PNP ACG says here, they should be, of course, knowledgeable about information and communication technology or ICT. So those persons or those graduates of IT in the future maybe are welcome, or those who have background of IT are welcome to the PNP Anti-Cyber Crime Group or the PNP ACG. So we have here, what are the threats? Okay, what are the threats that are commonly encountered by these in cyber crimes, okay, or maybe computer crimes, or maybe computers. So nandyan malwares, okay, viruses and worms na tinatawag nila, okay, that can destroy files, botnets, okay, denial of service attacks. Ito naman, parang flooding yan ng messages, okay, and then that could deny you from accessing your computer or your files or your accounts. Okay, and phishing scam, okay, nandyan na rin mga identity theft, okay, and then computer-related forgery and fraud, child pornography, copyright infringements, and cyber terrorism. Pero ang pinaka talamak ata is ito, phishing scams. Okay, so be careful in dealing with those, especially those informations na nilalagay nyo sa Gmails, sa mga social or sa mga softwares na ginagamit ninyo. So be careful, baka yan ay ginagamit just to take your accounts, take your personal details, and then yan gagamitin to gain money from you or to gain something from you. Okay, and then another one here, on the history of the anti-cyber crime group, it says here it started, okay, with the humble beginnings when the CIDG formed in 2003. So, under the Anti-Transnational Crime Division. Pero ngayon, marami nang nagbago. Okay? Marami nang nagbago. Sabi dyan, started without computers. So, as I remember also during that time, 2003, it's very hard for you to access computers. So, nagsimula lang na dumami ang computers around mga 2005 and above or 2006. Okay? That is based on my experience. Okay? Doon sa province namin or doon sa city namin. Pero I don't know here the situation in Manila during those years. But as mentioned here, started without computer forensic equipment. But as of now, I think PNP Anti-Cyber Crime Group, they are also excelling or they are also developing. Okay, it says here, cyber training laboratory was established on December 9, 2011 to conduct specialized technical training for CIDG police personnel. So, hindi pa nakakreate ang PNP Anti-Cyber Crime dito group or hindi kilala as PNP Anti-Cyber Crime Group ito. So, parang attached pa rin siya sa CIDG or trabaho pa rin ng CIDG ang cyber crimes. But as of now, on February 27, 2013, the PNP Anti-Cyber Crime Group is created, or the PNP ACG. So it's a National Operating Support Unit primarily responsible for implementation of pertinent Philippine laws on cyber crimes and advocating the anti-cyber crime campaign of the PNP. So take note of the creation of the PNP ACG. So what are their vision? It says here by 2025, so malapit na yan, the PNP Anti-Cyber Crime Group shall be a highly responsive and dynamic unit towards the attainment of safer cyber environment. Okay? And what are their functions? The PNP ACG. So of course, they are going to investigate all cyber crimes and other crimes which information and communication technology was used in the commission of criminal acts or the object. Katulad nung nabanggit natin kanina, phishing scam, identity, pornography, cyber pornography, cyber libel, and others. And another one, they conduct data recovery and forensic analysis on all computers, computer peripherals, and storage devices and other digital evidences seized by the PNP units and other law enforcement agencies within the country, especially if it involves yung mga nakuha nila na computers ng mga terrorists, na ginagamit ng mga terrorists and others. So they could try to recover data from those, or maybe those organized crime groups also. Another one, conduct vulnerability assessment on the security and information and communications technology in both public and private IT infrastructure. So, meron silang pakialam dun sa mga ICT, okay, provider, or let's say network provider. Kasi yan, baka yan pala ay, sila pala ay ginagamit ng mga terrorist, katulad ng Smart, Globe, okay? So, merong lumalabas nga, sila ay talagang provider, okay, or supplier ng mga NPA. But we don't know. Okay, we can't say anything about it because wala naman tayong pruweba. But as to that, kaya para ma-prevent yan or ma-investigahan or ma-assess yan, nandyan yung PNP Anti-Cyber Crime Group. And then next, we have here, they are going to provide technical investigative support to various law enforcement agencies, especially if it involves computers, okay? And if it is about a cybercrime case. And then maintain an intelligence database of various underground blogs, web forums. Okay, so binabantayan din nila yung mga websites na ina-access natin dito sa ating bansa. Okay? So, mag-ingat kayo sa pinaglalagay ninyo, especially kapag yan ay illegal. Baka kayo ay pagkamalan na terorista. Okay? So, with that, yung mga in-store ninyo na mga pictures, videos ninyo sa social media, that could be, or maybe hindi natin alam, baka may access ang cybercrime group dyan. Okay? So, next here, establish and maintain a modern digital forensic laboratory. So, I think PNP's ACG is still underdeveloped, and maybe after, as stated on their vision, by 2025, highly modernized na sila. So, conduct continuous specialized trainings and seminars, especially for those PNP officers who are under the Anti-Cyber Crime Group. Okay, and then maintain linkages with different PNP offices and local government agencies and other government agencies. Okay, especially in cooperation with the cases about cyber crimes. Okay, or in dealing with or in having cyber crimes or cybercrime operations. And we have here perform other tasks as directed by the Chief PNP. Okay, so overall, those are some of the PNP, those are all, maybe we can say those are some of the law enforcement operations that are being conducted or that are being made or that we have here. But if we still have time, maybe we can have on our next video recording, I will be creating some videos about BFP and of course, Philippine Coast Guard operations naman. So, as of now, that ends our chapter 2. And if you have a question, please feel free to comment it on our comment section. So, that will be answered or that will be answered directly on our comment section or maybe in our synchronous session. So, with that, thank you for watching and maybe let's see each other again next time.